So, guys, really fast. Uh, this is the tier list on the latest Multiverse Update 1. And notable changes. I just put all the food stuff down here. You can watch the first list if you want to know about these guys. The only things that have changed is people brought up macro for Hinata, and Kizaru being a hill is good for the last map and infinite grinding. The other things I need to bring up is the fact that I'm going to be speed running through this. So go back if you need to, but I'm going to be saying really fast what everyone's doing. Okay, so let me just first things first say that characters like Sakura are really solid, as well as Nezuko as like a 5th unit slot or 6th unit slot to provide support. They do 10 additional damage, or they just increase overall damage, but other than that, they're not really good. Another unit I need to put in the bad tier, again, Toby is like physical damage, which is terrible for raids, and for a slow unit, he's not worth your mythic crystals. So if you got him, cool, but he sucks. Next on the list, like I said, I'm gonna go through this really fast. Akainu, Sabo, and where's the last one? Oh man, I don't want this to take too long. Zeni. The thing about Zeni, Akainu, Sabo is they're magical, so they're really helpful in the raids. But outside of raids, they're kind of not like your LB type of units. So they're good to get, but there's a unit that's better than Sabo, and then if you've already committed to them, like you're stuck with them. But don't go for these guys unless you specifically need magic damage for the raids. If you're going for LB, they're not worth it. Next, for decent, we'll go ahead and say Boma, because of the more recent raids, money is like really good. We'll just put her at the bottom if you need money. Usually don't, but if you need money, she's there. And then because Levi is a hill, he's decent, but he does nothing to the bosses in the new raid area. And hills aren't like the best units to have, but he does have solid range. So for grinding the newest map and stuff, he's nice, but he shouldn't be the one you go after. Now for the actual like solid tier stuff, I'm gonna go ahead and put Inosuke, Shanks, who else? Boo and Don Flamingo right here. Inosuke's solid, really solid, but his range is poor. He's more than likely going to be on your LB teams, and with crit and that shred, he's a stupidly strong unit for LB. He does nothing for you in raids, and the same goes for Shanks. Shanks is like stupidly strong, but when you get to raids, since he's physical, and this is like a more physical meta update, Shanks doesn't do anything for you either outside of LB runs, which you'll need. And then, because Megu is unobtainable, Majin Buu is the best hill unit in the game. You need him for raids, but you shouldn't bring him to LB. He sucks in leaderboard. So does Levi. You're not going to those 4 hill units. And then last but not least, Don Flamingo. He would be meta. The problem is the new legendary unit just stuns better than him, and the RNG with the string, and the fact that even a max level Don Flamingo is probably only getting up to like 700 or so damage, like with both of them together, since you need to do upgrade 3 with him. I don't think he's like meta anymore. Like, if you have somebody on your team with Dofi, you're going to be doing, like, a little bit more damage with each stun, but it's so sloppy that you're just better off having somebody on your LB or raid team using what's actually meta, which is Emu. Emu, he stuns on placement, so he's just a better thing to have for somebody to just aid your team, whether it's an LB or a raid, even if you need to do it. So he's like a must-have on somebody's team. Preferably your own if you need to really do some stuff. And then for the next sets of meta stuff, we got Brochi. Brochi just like makes leaderboard runs doable, and she just like helps with any and all choke points by lowering costs, which you can ripple into like not needing Bulma, but also just making everybody hit faster, like Shanks needs it. And then for the next subset of characters, we got, I'm gonna put, because they're both needed, they're side by side but interchangeable. Rengoku's a bit better for raiding because he's a magical, but he's just better Sabo. And then Akaza just has the range of like half the map in most cases every 2 seconds. So setting him to last is just like a do or die situation for raids. You need them. They both do massive, massive damage. And then speaking of massive damage, it's really like Megu is number one. But the main thing to take from this is like Crocodile is a slow unit just like Emu, but it's like you only need to spend 50 berries and 5,000 gold to get them. You can go with Emu and do the full AoE every 3 seconds kind of thing, but Crocodile's range and solid damage is just so much more worth it to commit to than like you'd be better off together with Emu stuns and Crocodile slows spread, and then just have the rest of these guys doing a bunch of damage. Since Dolphy's a leaderboard exclusive and Megu is like also something that you can't obtain anymore, your best possible team would look something like this at the top, except substituting in Inosuke, Shanks, or even Mabu or whoever else that you've evolved. But this is like the meta. Like, if you have this is what your inventory should look like if you're providing everything. Now, I will say this before I cut it off here. If you have players on your LB team that have 2 Brochis like enough, or somebody's already using Emu, then you would just sub out damage on each and everything, whatever you discuss. If you guys want to know more, I'll go more in depth next time, but this is the meta.